According to a new report from the Washington Post, allies of Donald Trump, and of course some members of the Trump campaign, are starting to freak out a little bit over his latest campaign strategy. So what's happening right now with the Trump campaign is that Donald Trump's biggest weakness is with both young voters and female voters. And with young women, he does absolutely horrific. So that is the demographic that Donald Trump needs to appeal to. Except the only appeal to them that he's made is one that has disgusted them, where he has repeatedly said, "I will be your protector. You have nothing to worry about, pretty little lady. I will protect you." So, in trying to appeal to women voters, he has actually ended up condescending to them. So, that's not working out well. But believe it or not, that horrible strategy is not the strategy that Donald Trump's campaign and his allies are freaking out about now. What they're freaking out about is that Donald Trump is actually leaning too far into misogyny and, quote, bro culture by trying to appeal to young men. So, you're not struggling with white men. And his campaign strategy right now is to just appeal to white men. Here's what the Washington Post reported. This is from Nakama Soloveitchik, a Republican strategist and former advisor to Nikki Haley's presidential campaign, who said, quote, "It's obvious Republicans have a woman problem, but it's not just about policy differences like abortion. The GOP gender gap is just as much about how you talk about those differences. Regardless of gender, any political staffer with a pea-sized brain should know chasing away half the electorate is a bad idea. Talk to women with respect and understanding, even when you disagree." And the reason this Republican strategist said this is, quote, this from the article, "The former president's campaign has been telegraphing a distinctly aggressive tone to help attract young men who they believe are an untapped demographic in an election where voters are dissatisfied with the direction of the country. But some Trump allies worry this strategy will widen the gender gap that puts him far behind Vice President Kamala Harris with women." So, nobody's reaching out to the white men. The poor white men out there in the country, the forgotten demographic. I can't tell you how many times as a white man I look around the country and I say, when's it gonna be my time? As a middle-class white man, oh, we have suffered for so long, haven't we, white men? That's the campaign strategy. Like, nobody's reaching out to the poor white guys. Oh, God. Another longtime Trump ally said this to the Washington Post. "If you're having problems with women, why would you bring on Corey Lewandowski?" And of course, just in case anybody forgot, Lewandowski has been accused of grabbing a woman reporter's arm and sexually harassing a donor, but other campaign officials say he has a reduced presence at the headquarters and doesn't play a supervisory role. But then the article went on to continue, quoting Caroline Leavitt, who of course is one of Donald Trump's spokespeople. And Leavitt said this: "President Trump has entrusted a woman to lead his campaign, and he has hundreds of powerful females proudly working on his behalf. The men referenced in this story are our teammates in our shared mission to win this election. Maybe at the Kamala HQ they cry over their gender and pronouns, but here on Team Trump, we only care about one thing: victory on November 5th. So she's like, hey, Trump's got a female spokesperson. He's got a woman running the RNC, and he's got a woman running his campaign. Boom. What's the counterpart to all three of these things? Every single one of these women who are running things for Donald Trump has a male counterpart. They're all co-chairs. Like Laura Trump is the co-chair of the RNC with a man. Susie Wiles is his campaign co-manager next to Chris LaCivita, paired with a man. Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's spokesperson. Who is her counterpart? The most disgusting human being you've ever seen in your life, Stephen Chung, a man. So all of these people that she's like, oh, look at this. Look at all of these women. Donald Trump didn't trust a single one of them enough to let them do the job on their own. And that should tell you everything you need to know. And for the record, Levitt also pointed out Alina Habba. Oh, he's got Alina Habba. Alina Habba has never been lead counsel. She has been co-counsel. Every lead counsel has been a man. So, you want to tell us that Donald Trump respects women because he puts them in positions of power? No. Donald Trump puts these women in positions of inferiority next to men. He doesn't trust the women enough, so he has to pair them with a man. And it gets even worse. Susie Wiles, the campaign co-manager, has privately told allies that one of her biggest challenges to managing the campaign is, quote, too much testosterone. And some colleagues have reportedly expressed shock at how male staffers, in particular Operations Director Justin Caparel, talk over her in meetings. So, sure, he put women in place so they can co-manage some things, but apparently none of the men on any of the teams respect these women because Donald Trump himself doesn't respect women.